Is there a film that fans keep asking for you to do, but you guys go, guys, we can't. Either it's foreign, or we've tried, it doesn't work.
Yeah, there's a few of those that time and again come up, and one of them came. We did a panel at the Comic-Con in San Diego here, and people were really, really over the moon for Zardoz, the John Boorman film with Sean Connery flying around he's wearing a little loincloth and he's flying around in this magical skull thing.
Ugh.
It's very strange, but it's also very, very dated, and there's like, guys abusing women in it and everything. It's like, no, you remember the funny thing of him wearing a little deerskin loincloth. You don't remember that it's like 2.5 hours of drudgery after that.
Ugh. That doesn't sound pleasant at all.
No, it's not at all.
You brought up a really interesting thing this past year on your Facebook page, on the Rifftrax Facebook page. You said that your Rifftrax of Inception, they sold as many copies as had been illegally downloaded. And I guess I was wondering how much of your business is affected by people using, torrents and so forth and not paying for the stuff legally.
Yeah, we can only estimate. It's sort of heartbreaking. Even the lowest estimate is sort of like, man, if we could capture those people, if we could get them to be honest about it, it would be great, because we could put that back in the business and grow it and get more writers or do whatever. But it's wild guessing as it is, but you can sort of get a little picture of it when you go poking around and seeing, we'll do something, and then within 10 minutes, someone will illegally uploaded it to a torrent. And it turns out to be someone that is, supposedly a fan of what you do, and all you can do is appeal to him personally and go, what are you doing? Why are you intentionally wrecking our business? I mean, we have no other source of income. This is it. We sell it, and that's that. So we're sort of at the mercy of it, and we have that built in, and we realize that. But the thing about it is the majority of people are honest people who want to pay fairly for a product they like, and you can't punish those people and try to lock down your product. It's like, this is what we have, and this is what we're stuck with.
What sells better, the actual movies or the shorts you do? Because I tend to enjoy the shorts a lot more than the movies sometimes.
Yeah, well, we're getting to a good balance, we feel, because a lot of people really like the big titles, but some of them they won't buy just because it's really a tough formula to figure out what people like in the bigger titles. The shorts are easy. People like all of those. So we try to mix and match, and I think we're at a good balance. And also, there's people who really just like to do the movie downloads, the video on demand, or the full-length features. So we try to satisfy that as well. So I think we're at a pretty good balance. I think there's some people who wish we would cover just every blockbuster, but I think that's a rarer bird.
I gotta say, Rifftrax has helped me immensely watching movies that my girlfriend loves and I can never watch. Specifically, the only way I can watch the movie Titanic is through the Rifftrax version.
Yeah, we have saved a few people that way. And a lot of guys say, it's pretty good payback for the girlfriends when they get to do the whole Twilight series with our Rifftrax. Like, hey, I sat through it unriffed, now you have to sit through it riffed. And we've won some converts doing that.
Line.
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 Does anyone have a line?
By the way, my favorite Twilight joke is when Nella jumps on the vampire's back, and then Bill just starts doing the Benny Hill music.
You need to see what I look like in the sunlight.
That'll always just make me laugh.
Yeah, that was surprisingly a cheesy effect that lent itself to that, because I thought it was, this is supposed to be one of the biggest books of all time, and the first movie it fell a little short in the shall we say, in the effects department.
I talked earlier about the impact of Mystery Science Theater, and it's on the Times film TV critic, whose name escapes me unfortunately at the moment, but he has a list of the top 100 most important shows in the history of American television, and Mystery Science Theater is there. And his argument is, if not for Mystery Science Theater, you don't have the soup, you don't have all the branches off of that, and you don't really have this industry now of people commenting on other things. When, if ever, has it hit you of, holy cow, look at the show that I've left behind and its importance in pop culture?
Well, never really. I mean, to be honest, I always thought that kind of commentary thing was a little overblown, because in the early days we got that a lot. Like, this is taking pop culture and throwing it back. It's like, well, it is sort of in its structure, but it was never an intent of ours to do, that it was a deep underlying commentary. It was always just, this is a great vehicle to throw out a lot of jokes and make people happy. So to be honest, my favorite thing is the personal things, which come up surprisingly often, of people saying, when my dad was ill or whatever, and he was in the hospital, the only thing that could make him laugh was this, and we shared this. And I've talked to the other guys, they're like, it's unbelievable how many people approach you with that, with these sincere, I'm so happy you made it, because it was just a way to, share this thing. And it was long, where they would say he had so many long stretches. It's like, yeah, we're long. We fill a lot of hours with laughs. And to be honest, that makes me happier. It's more satisfying than sort of the critical commentary about it.
I asked people on Twitter and on Facebook if they had any questions, and the two most popular ones were, the first one is, of course, everyone always wants to know what your favorites are. And I heard you on the Nerdist podcast. I kind of asked you the same thing. But is there a particular short of all the shorts that you've done on Mystery Science Theater and on Rifftrax that you personally enjoy the most?
I think for the sheer madness of it, and eventually what kind of happened after we took him on as characters, Mr. B Natural, is really fun for me, just because that was the first moment that we realized that there was something beyond just those educational films that you were kind of used to, that there was the weird subgenres of them, and sort of the archivist in me was like, I'd like to bring these to people and, bring these characters out that they probably haven't seen since they were in the 6th grade or whatever. So the madness of that one always made me laugh.
And it's fair to say that Roadhouse is probably your favorite Rifftrax, right?
Well, it just on sheer, my own affection of it, yes. I think we'll probably have another go at it, and I'm hoping to recruit Kevin and Bill for that, to do sort of an anniversary edition of it, because I think it'll be a lot more fun to bring them in. But yeah, I love that one. I also, I really like the 80s kind of cheesy stuff too. I mean, Over the Top is one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. And when we perform those live, or those are always the most fun to do. It's just, people don't have those movies sitting around, so they're probably not the most popular, but it's a little bit of an indulgence for us.
For me, it's a tie between the Titanic one and the first one I saw, which was the Jurassic Park one with Weird Al. Both of those are extremely funny to me, and it showed to me, like, there's a movie I can love and still enjoy the Rifftrax of, and there's a movie I can hate, like Titanic, and still really enjoy the Rifftrax that makes the movie bearable for me.
Yeah, we found that, and I find that with Jaws, which is one of my favorite movies. It's a great movie, great adventure film, and we did that. We had a screening of our version of it at the Stone Brewery. It has a big outdoor garden area, and we did a screening of that, and people just loved it. And it's like, that shows that we don't dislike this movie, we love it, but it still works on that level.